And straight on to the headlines, what we have on the front pages of our local dailies. With me, I have the Star newspaper on the front page. Uhuru, Grandmaster of 2022 succession. Uhuru, Grandmaster of 2022 succession. Kenyatta has put together a powerful political machine of more than a dozen parties. The president is raising his stakes for a power deal with Azimio la Umoja. That is what's on the front page of the Star newspaper there. Again, on the front page, I thought I would never see my family. That's according to a convicted tout. More details shortly. And Parliament to pay tickets for MPs on Ruto's 10-day tour of UK, US and Qatar. Details again shortly. Again on the front page of the Star, Kalonzo's new tough terms for deal with Raila's Azimio. Let me give you details on what that story is all about here. Now, part of the Kalonzo's tough terms for Raila deal ahead of the August poll is the coalition-to-coalition agreement, but not as single parties. So at the center of his demands is a coalition-to-coalition deal as opposed to single-party agreement as fronted by Raila team. Raila's wing has been jittery of the coalition-to-coalition agreement, resulting into a deadlock in the high-level negotiations to reunite the former National Super Alliance duo. And the fear among the Oka House, which brings together Kalonzo, KANU Chairman Gideon Moi, Cyrus Jirongo of UDP, and now Kenya's Martha Karua, is that conceding to ODM proposal would technically render the fledgling alliance dead. Now, that confirms the reason why that deal, which was supposed to be signed today, was called off. Of course, it's reported that Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka sent out a message yesterday cancelling that deal. That exercise to be signed today, and it remains unclear when it will be done. Okay. So that is there. According to experts, prepare for worse wildfires. UNEP cautions in new report. They say that extreme fires to rise globally by 14% by 2030 and says that governments are unprepared for that. Uhuru succession, Grandmaster pulls strings in 2022 race. So Uhuru is now pulling the strings in the unfolding succession battle, with just about 5 months to go to the general election. This even as it emerged that Uhuru's team is working on a scheme to deny Raila's ODM the majority in parliament to exert more pressure to control the House. So Uhuru, actually whose 10-year term ends in August, has set tongues wagging with observers anxious he could remain in control even after August. We will be discussing that one later on with our experts here. And so far, Uhuru's grand coalition set for talks with Azimio. We have got several parties who've already joined. We have got Jubilee Party, we have got KANU, United Democratic Movement, we have, that is UDM, Kenya Union of Parties, and etc., joining Azimio la Umoja. And of course, word has it that they are going, each and every political party, as of Saturday, agreed that they will be fronting individual presidential candidates. Thereafter, they will have to come up with a single candidate as Azimio la Umoja to battle it out with the Deputy President, William Ruto. Jen.
Now let's come to the Daily Nation. We start off with the stories that has been featured here on the header, and this is in regards to Mumias in line with it being used as a political campaigning tool. And just looking at what they have captioned here, they go on to say that inside the cartels, cases and politics are pulling back Mumias sugar. Looking back at the last two general elections, the revival of the miller has been a major campaign item for politicians at both the local and national levels. And when you get to read this particular story, they actually highlight just a few months before the 2017 general elections, the president and his deputy were actually in that particular area using it as a campaign item for re-election. Now coming to the main read here, Uhuru Raila failed the city rally, exposes rift. So President Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga were to host a mega rally at the historic City Ground grounds yesterday, a day after a weekend of politics, but it didn't happen. This went on to raise questions about the last-minute cancellation and changes. And on the other end, we did see Wiper Chief Kalonzo Musyoka last evening sending out a message cancelling earlier plans for coalition signing deal with Orca partners. So the big question remains, what is cooking? We have seen the president say that, they're going to go on a nationwide campaign for the next 2 weeks before officially unveiling the mega coalition. And then again, Kalonzo Musyoka did also point out that they have been receiving a lot of interested partners who want to join Orca. So they are also giving room for that before they sign anything. And as per what this daily has for us, the official date for signing any deal has been reserved for the 12th of March as per this daily. Now, the other story is concerning Musalia Mudavadi. Here they go on to ask, is he a clever leader or an opportunist? In one way or the other, he has remained relevant every 5 years since he joined politics at the age of 33. He's now 61. He joined politics when he took membership or became the member of parliament when his father died, and since then he has always remained relevant in the political space, even when he is not elected for the positions that he has been vying for. So is he a clever leader? Is he or an opportunist? I'll be giving you details of that particular story in a bit. And finally, CSs who quit politics will be getting huge perks in their send-off packages. This is according to their terms of employment. And of course, we'll be giving you these details with CSs like Cecily Karaoke, Aidan Mohammed, and also Rafael Tuju, who seems to be having the same employment terms, will be receiving at least 8.59 million Kenya shillings as per the terms of their services again. So more details of this and so much more will be coming up in not too long. Doreen.
Chakazi party leader who also doubles up as Gatundu South lawmaker, that is Moses Kuria, has now declared his bid, saying that he will vie for that gubernatorial position. He had earlier on said that he was not going to do that, but owing to pressure from his supporters and pushing him to take a stand on what political position he would hold. Now he says that he will vie for that particular seat. What does this mean for the rest of his competitors, the likes of James Nyoro, former Governor William Kabogo, Thika Town MP Patrick Wainaina? Well, only time will tell, but that is what is happening there, and that is what he has just said recently. Away from that, there's now relief for candidates as teachers call off the strike which had been planned. This is as mentioned by the UN Sec Gen Akelo Missouri. He said that they have called off that strike, and this is to just provide a smooth way for candidates who will be starting their exams next week. That is KCP as well as KCSE. So even as that is happening, they have urged the government to provide security, particularly on those on the bandit-prone areas. These are areas of Mandera, some parts of Rift Valley region, particularly West Pokot, and various other areas, even as candidates prepare for their exams. So even as that is happening, perhaps regionally, in Kisumu City or Kisumu County, the city manager, that is Abala Wanga, now says that even as campaigns are ongoing ahead of this political season, campaigners are now banned from playing loud music, and they have also banned advertising on business premises, walls and street light poles. And this is because they say that in Kisumu County, most of the schools are around the city center. So this is why they have banned that. So this is just a warning to politicians, especially those that are going about popularizing their bid, that in Kisumu City that has been banned, at least for this period of KCP and KCSE. And also, the ODM leader is fighting to keep the coastal region. Remember that over time it has been known as one of those ODM strongholds, but owing again to what pundits are saying, and most of them actually argue that the recent events in areas of Kwale and Kilifi might just have depleted the advantage of it being an ODM stronghold. And this is again when you look at the likes of Salim Vuria, Fatma Achani, who's the deputy governor of Kwale County, the likes of MP Aisha Juma, who were initially in the ODM party and they deflected to UDA. So this is what is prompting most pundits to say that, yes, much as it is perhaps has been known as a stronghold for the ODM party, it looks like a time where the ODM party leader needs to fight to just keep that area a stronghold, as it were. And lastly, Kenya gets funding from health systems. This is 64 billion, which is said to support the health services in Kenya as well as other African countries. And again, this is just from that particular recent research that shows mostly when it comes to most African countries, and particularly the entire continent, when it comes to issues of infrastructure, workforce, including trained professionals, Africa tends to lack that. And in line with WHO, this is why the European Investment Bank has pledged to support Kenya and particularly most African countries that gets to face a lot of these issues concerning health, just to see how best they can help their health systems. Regina.
According to this daily, the stories that have taken precedence, and this is a copy of the Standard being the 28th of February 22, it's all about matters of politics. And let's start local, where parties are in a fight for seats as Azimio grows. Remember, the cancellation of that, proposed signing that was to happen today has been held off for a later date. And now the question is the complex numbers for Raila. Why? In as far as the outfits that are backing Raila's presidency and they have their own coalitions, and indeed Azimio has become a formidable campaign machine, but it has also opened new rivalries over posts. Now let us look at the constitution of Azimio. And as far as this particular daily is concerned, we have Oka, Sawa, ODM and Jubilee. Now Sawa is Mohisa Kitui's where he's put together 17 parties, and they too want to join Raila's big house. We have Oka Alliance, 4 parties that were to sign an MOU today were to sign. We'll keep tabs and find out when this is going to be happen. We have a proposed date of March 12th, but we'll wait and see what is going to happen. And their aim is also to join as one anchor partner. Then we have ODM, which is the anchor party, and it expects to produce the presidential candidate, but will the others get that opportunity? Big question there. As we talk about matters politics with Victor in not too long, this is going to be put into perspective. Then we have Jubilee, which is Uhuru's party and is backed by 10 smaller outfits and are all seeking room in Azimio. Now, the big question as we talk about matters of politics, in as far as, this is Raila's big week after such a weekend. So Raila's journey to State House got a major boost when he was endorsed by both Jubilee parties and also won the backing of President Uhuru Kenyatta. He awaits the support for Oka, whose leaders have said they want to join Azimio. Mula Umoja movement. Then also in 2 weeks, Azimio is expected to pick him as its presidential flag bearer. And from there, the big question is, will he have to overcome the current deputy president and, UDA's presumptive candidates? Those are the questions around, the political matrix surrounding Raila Odinga there and Azimio La Umoja. Talking about Deputy President William Ruto and UDA's presumptive, candidate, so to speak. Ruto and Mudavadi yesterday jetted off to the US and UK. And according to the Kenya Kwanza campaign secretariat, Ruto and Mudavadi will be meeting up with the US policy makers and Kenyans in the diaspora, and also give talks in the US and UK. That's just a sneak peek of what is happening in the political scene. And also there's an article there that has talked about the 5-year cycle, the 5-year cycle when it comes to our elections. Every time we have elections, especially the general elections, these investors tend to take an uncertain stand when it comes to long-term investments, waiting to see what these political contenders have in stock for the economy, what policies will stay, which priorities will be given, which sectors will be given priority. So this is a 2-page pullout just looking at the election crystal ball and why it is splitting investors with some coming out to say, and this is according to Gershon Ikiara, who is an economist, saying it is going to be it's going to set a very uncertain period, and it will affect us for almost 6 months after the election as people wait to see what kind of policies are coming up, what level of stability we are going to have, and what are some of the programs, for example, which sectors will be given priority. So every election year and the one after, investors are averse into pumping money into the economy, and thus affecting the economy. Now, after the 2017 polls, Kenya was ranked as having the second worst business environment globally, and it eased after the handshake. So, in as far as we're speaking, politics is also going to play, it's playing a key role in as far as our economy is concerned. Remember, we are trying to jumpstart some of the sectors owing to the COVID-19 situation. That is just a quick summary of what has taken precedence in this particular daily, and also a highlight about what we're going to be seeing next week. And this is a moment of truth as KCP and KCC beckons. The date is the 7th of March. Then also 8 persons killed in Kerio Valley. Among the dead, among the 8 are 2 people. So tension continues rising in that area. Matters of banditry attacks at a time when medics have been advised not to treat any gunshot wound without reporting to the police. Across borders, I know you are in the know in regard to matters of Russia. Now there are talks in the offing between Russia and Ukraine, and we're going to be keeping tabs on how it's going to affect the macroeconomic state of this country. Remember, the EU has come out through its president Ursula von der Leyen, saying that they have restricted movement of aircrafts owned by Russia or controlled by Russia in bid to just try and stem the ongoing war. We'll be keeping tabs on that. Remember, further details are also available on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. For now, we take you to the road, and when we're back, we're going to be looking at the political matrix of the country as is, following what we saw happen over the weekend with Victor. So do keep it right here. I'm Regina Manyara. Have a pleasant viewing ahead.